Letters on Yoga, Tome 1, The Supramental Evolution, Part 5. The questions about the supermind cannot be answered profitably now. Supermind cannot be described in terms that the mind will understand, because the terms will be mental, and mind will understand them in a mental way and mental sense, and miss their true import. It would, therefore, be a waste of time and energy, which should be devoted to the preliminary work, psychicization and spiritualization of the being and nature, without which no supramentalization is possible. Let the whole dynamic nature, led by the psychic, make itself full of the dynamic spiritual light, peace, purity, knowledge, force. Let it afterwards get experience of the intermediate spiritual planes and know, feel, and act in their sense. Then it will be possible to speak last of the supramental transformation. What is a perfect technique of yoga, or rather of a world-changing or nature-changing yoga? Not one that takes a man by a little bit of him somewhere, attaches a hook, and pulls him up by a pulley into nirvana or paradise. The technique of a world-changing yoga has to be as multiform, sinuous, patient, all-including as the world itself. If it does not deal with all the difficulties or possibilities, and carefully deal with each necessary element, has it any chance of success? And can a perfect technique, which everybody can understand, do that? It is not like writing a small poem in a fixed meter with a limited number of modulations. If you take the poem simile, it is the Mahabharata of a Mahabharata that has to be done. And what, compared with the limited Greek perfection, is the technique of the Mahabharata? Next, what is the use of Viktra Buddhi in such a case? If one has to get a new consciousness, which surpasses the reasoning intellect, can one do it on lines which are to be judged and understood by the reasoning intellect, controlled at every step by it, told by the intellect what it is to do, what is the measure of its achievements, what its steps must be, and what their value? If one does that, will one ever get out of the range of the reasoning intelligence into what is beyond it? And if one does, how shall others judge what one is doing? By the intellectual measure? How can one judge what is beyond the ordinary consciousness, when one is oneself in the ordinary consciousness? Is it not only by exceeding yourself that you can feel, experience, judge what exceeds you? What is the value of a judgment without the feeling and experience?